So, the goal to wrap up the night is to bridge the gap between the music performed and the cultural history behind it, specifically focusing on the principle of Sankofa. Sankofa is the Ghanaian principle, meaning to reach back and fetch it. It represents using the lessons and rhythms of the past to build a vibrant conversation. Just a reminder that the marketplace is still open at the back, and I definitely recommend to take a look at it. So before we begin, we have a fun little engaging piece for you. If you had to describe the energy of the night in one word, what would you use to describe it? So I'll count to 3 and just shout out the one word that comes to mind. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
All right, I heard a lot of good words. Okay, so tonight I'm joined by 3 amazing panelists. You've heard from them tonight. I'll give you just quick intros. So we have Matthew over here, singer, guitarist, History PhD candidate, and local enthusiast of the Grind Cafe. Give it up for Matthew. And then we have Margaret. She's a 4th year human behavior student, organizer of the Grind Market and King William West Fest. And last but not least, we have DJ, 4th year computer engineering student and band leader, of course, of DJ's Flying Circus. All right, audience, are we ready to begin the panel? Awesome, awesome. So I'll start with you, Matthew, if you don't mind. So you've mentioned you often prefer the guitar to history books. How does performing live allow you to tell stories or capture the atmospheres in a way that traditional history can't do?
In history, it's filled with annoying academic jargon words that say a lot but mean very little sometimes. And often the story is more about a feeling than analytical descriptions of why people did what they do. I think generally speaking, when you tell a story, specifically a historical story, there's a detachment between like you and the book, or you and the people that you're reading about. And when I try to tell a story, what is it like to actually live that experience? History books, the better ones can tell you that to an extent, but I think music has a special medium. It's a synthetic medium that allows you to say, you still use words, but capture a feeling that melody and rhythm can offer where, bland prose cannot.
Agreed, thank you. And given your background in history, how do you see the Sankofa principle playing out in Hamilton's current music scene? Do you think we are fetching the right things from the past?
Well, if you listen to DJ tonight, I think yes, we absolutely. I'm always like, whenever I become mildly apathetic and or jaded with a music scene, there's quickly a talent and people that come and demonstrate that I was completely wrong, to the extent that now I have a playlist called Modernity Salvaged, because often I hear, if music wasn't made back in insert, decade that you will. I think this is a lie. I think that people like DJ and all the performances you saw tonight demonstrate that people are calling from the past, but also using their present experiences to create something synthetic, something new. I mean, there's a quote, history is a nightmare from which we're trying to awaken. I don't think it's a nightmare, I think it's a magical dream. And I see that not just with DJ, but some of the other performances that are at MAC, but also downtown. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you, Matthew. All right, so Margaret, I'm sure the audience knows you are a community builder and a catalyst. So your journey started with handmade earrings and grew into launching Grind Market and Killing West Fest. How does the act of starting before you feel ready apply to building a massive creative production like the Book of Funk?
Okay, it's really about doing it scared. Doing it when you're not ready, going for it. I have been crafting for basically my whole life, but was a pandemic hobby. And then I started vending the summer of 2024, entered into fall, winter, and there weren't many opportunities. And I had just started working at Union Market on campus, and looking around, there weren't opportunities that I could get in, and I tried. I went to MSU, I went to the president at the time, I went through every single option, I emailed clubs, I tried to get around in every sense, and there wasn't a space. And so I had made a pitch, my first It was the first yes I got that really, really changed my life and honestly gave me a lot of confidence in myself. The grind market started. The idea was in November 2024. The first market is January 2025, and then we've been seasonally since. And with the two experiences, the grind market in January and March, I then applied to the city of Hamilton. They did a marketplace organizer call. And I remember thinking, that kind of sounds like me. I have a little bit of experience, but not that much. But I'm not going to discourage myself from submitting. I'd rather let them give me the no. And I had submitted 6 pages when they asked for 3. I submitted it on blue paper when there was no need to. And I got a yes. And I remember I was checking my email in Mills in Learning Commons. And I'm sitting with DJ and some of our other friends. And I just get up and scream. And I'm just like, they did it. Like they made the choice, and it was a lot of work in the summer. I think there were so many times where I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm very transparent with that with the people that I'm working with. But it all turned out to be one great day. I think the greatness comes when we ignore all the small mistakes, the small hiccups. I actually had Matt perform at King William. And it's a really funny story that I hold with a little bit of shame and lots of apology in my heart. DJ was preparing with the band, and they were back at the house. And so the day had started for me. I'm running around as you saw me today, but I didn't have any equipment for Matt. Somehow I just thought it would show up. And we went through the process of getting one of DJ's roommates to Uber down, what was it, what did I bring? A speaker. No amp, or amp maybe?
An amp, but no.
No battery. Little did I know you needed a battery. So I get the amp, I get the speaker, I go to Matt, and I have the biggest smile on my face because I think I've just saved it, because I thought this is what was missing. And he had such great composure. I don't know how you didn't curse me out. I really would have if it were me. I don't know how, but you handled the situation with grace, and it's a learning moment that I really hold dear to me, because it's the gaps of knowledge where we can only learn by practice and by doing, and now I know I will never send anyone with an amp and a speaker without a battery. Now I know how this stuff works. I'm still learning. But yeah, I hope I was able to answer the question. Start when you're not ready. You won't be ready. It doesn't come until you're doing it. It doesn't come until even after. When I do grind markets, people see a different side of me. I think I'm much more sociable, always running around, but people don't see that I have to take the week off to relax. My social battery is burnt, meetings are not done, I am behind, like XYZ other things. So in the greatness of all of this, we're here today, and this was a spectacular show, but know that there are the areas that you guys don't see, and the areas that make us human. So.
Thank you. And that example, yes, round of applause, please. Yeah, that example shows how much of a community builder you are. Thank you. So, you are also a student of human behavior, which is a lovely program. What have you observed about the behavior of Hamilton community when they're giving a space to come together through art and curiosity?
I've been thinking a lot about Hamilton's art scene, and I'm not someone who grew up here. I grew up in Toronto, came here for school, and I think I did what most students did, which is not look at all into Hamilton. I just knew about the university. I was ready to do my 4 years. And then I took the city bus and I went downtown and I started poking around at different shops. And there's life here. There's so much that welcomes you when you don't think that you're ready for it. People are so full of love to share. I think as I'm trying to do with my summer project is really bring the students downtown and show them all that Hamilton has to offer. We've heard the stigma before about, whatever it is with downtown, it being unsafe. And as someone who grew up in Toronto, it's just a funny parallel because everyone wants to go see the CN Tower. Everyone loves taking the GO train, but Toronto's downtown looks the same as it does here. These differences are just, we have walkie-talkies. Yeah, it's just an interesting parallel where even in first year, I didn't want to tell anyone that I was from Toronto because then it was this, oh my gosh, like I've always wanted to go. And I understand that. It just wasn't something I wanted to, be the first branch. It's a parallel that I see, so it was much more important for me to go downtown and find connections in Hamilton. I'm losing part of the question, but there's such an art scene that welcomes you even when you don't think you're an artist. I think everyone is. It's that belief in yourself that is how you develop it. I think all of us on stage here have doubted ourselves and our capability and what it means to be an artist, what it means to write, to produce, to create. But look at everyone sitting here. There's an audience for you to accept you, and you just have to get out there and try.
Beautiful words. Thank you, Margaret. All right, and for DJ. So, as a computer engineer student, you deal with systems and logic. How does the logic of a 9-piece funk band serve as proof that art is the ultimate source of what makes life worth living? Take your time, take your time.
Okay, all right, so I guess if you met me, you'd know that I hate my program, first and foremost. But I realized day one that I was gonna be stuck here for 5 years, so I might as well learn something from it. Engineering 1P13 was a time we learned about functions, objectives, and constraints when designing anything. If you have a chair, the function is supposed to make it more comfortable for people to be around, you know? An objective is that it would be nice if, you know, the surface is flat and there's not bumps, so then your ass doesn't hurt. But and a constraint is that it can't fall apart. And I think that's the kind of mentality that I applied to, I guess, making art in general. In first year, I was actually more interested in film, in TV, but there was just not really the time to write. It's just the assignments, the labs, they always get in the way. You're never gonna have enough time for yourself. So what it ended up being was music. I had, my friend had bought me a bass guitar. I already knew how to play the drums, but she had bought me a bass guitar in first year, and I'm not sure if Kai is here, but I'm pretty sure he can remember the days where I used to stay in the room, and he was my roommate, by the way. I should have said that. But when I used to just stay in and just learn how to play all day, and then I went to church with Auntie Jackie and Uncle Paul, and that's where I got more experience. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys. But and then over time it became a love of mine, really. I'd always had an appreciation for music, but it became a love of mine, something I fell deeply into. It was a very wide world that still shows different sides to me. And I started learning how to apply those same principles of functions, objective, constraint. Okay, you have a groove, right? We're trying to be funky. That's our function. Our objective is that people have to be dancing, right? A constraint is that people can't be dancing. But you learn how to build it off from, I guess, finding some kind of pocket and making everyone agree with that. Whether it's, you know, if there's a part in the drum that's like, oh, it's quiet here. You know, you could make another instrument pop its head out here, just for that little bit. So it feels like a continuous groove. I feel like I'm constantly grooving, like ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum.
He always
ba-dum,
is.
bum,
It's
bum,
never
bum,
quiet
ba-dum,
when we're
ba-doo,
studying.
ba-doo, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. And that could be that whole groove could be shared between like 3 instruments, right? So then it's like everyone is part of it. Everyone's pulling together to make one continuous thing. I see Ben. I see Ben like saxophone Ben, like yeah. But yeah, I think I lost sight of the question too.
No, not a problem.
Yeah,
we now understand engineering. Thank you, DJ.
Yeah.
So let's talk about music. So in Strange View, the poet is searching for authentic voice. Just for some context for everyone, it's the idea of accepting people and art as complicated, beautiful mixtures of identities. So DJ, how has this project helped you define your own strange view of identities?
More than anything, I think what I learned throughout the course of this project, whether it was different experiences I had and different inspirations I was pulling from, things like I was really getting into Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and Childish Gambino and Kendrick Lamar, and I think genuinely there was somewhere around the 2000s, there was a change. There was a change where music stopped being so like band focused, and it started being more of a tool to really express yourself, to really make like art. And I think mainly what came of that was taking different influences, taking things from different genres and different time periods to create something that's truly unique. And that was my biggest goal with this project, to create something that I could call a Strange Brew. It was a reference to a Cream song that I really like. But yeah, I think this project had helped me to, one, accept that I have different influences and I shouldn't be looking to fit in one genre. And maybe what the point of this project is to show other people that, hey, there's a wide world out there. There's a wide world of things you can bob your head to. There's a wide world of things that could inspire you. Like whenever I hear the chords of Persephone, it was a Kendrick Lamar song that inspired me to take it. It was just something that feels almost kind of wrong in the way how beautiful it is. And so from there, I knew I had an idea. And more than anything, I guess the goal of this project was to grow comfortable with being misunderstood.
Thank you, DJ. All right, so here's a question for all three of you. Don't mind who answers first. Think about your own creative side. Do you think this is a constant companion in your life right now, or is it part of yourself you neglected that you finally were able to bring out tonight?
Do you want to take it?
I can start. Sure. I often, school has a tendency of unfortunately enforcing neglect of the side that I actually want to explore most, which is music. And imposing rules and regulations and constraints and all these things. But what music often does is it finds me at the strangest and most unexpected times in my life and reminds me why I care about things and care about what I'm doing, and I guess awakens me from my stupor when I least expect it. And most of the time in life, I'm constrained by rules and regulations, but there's something that DJ alluded to that music manages to do for me, which is one first learns grammar to speak, but then to express yourself, you learn how to break those rules tastefully. I think music, more than anything in my life, has taught me how to do that. Your life, school, society, culture, all these things teach you rules. But music and the creative elements of your mind, your brain, your experience will give you opportunities to break those rules tastefully and find something that is truly authentic, truly unique to you. And so learn what rules you like to break tastefully, I think learning that has been my road to authenticity and to reminding myself why I do what I do in life, and that's not just pertains to music, but music is the thing that I return to remind me of break the rules when you're constrained. Yeah.
Thank you. Margaret or DJ, any answers for that?
I think I have a bit of an interesting lens where I do some organizing and I do some getting people to show up or to make sure we have sheet music for everyone, printing it, what that looks like. Logistics are in all of our lives. I mean, sending emails was a very easy thing for me, which I think was a big support in joining the band. For me, it was a little bit about meeting the strengths that I had, seeing what their needs were, and trying to find a happy middle ground. It wasn't easy, and I think I get burnt out a lot. You might not see it, but it's really there. And with Grind Markets, sustaining that project by myself has been a journey, and running the summer project where I have to speak to adults and they're saying a million things and I'm nodding along. Sometimes we'll throw out acronyms and I just say yes, and I'll search it up after. The creative side, I try to return to, and I think my goal is to not really make it something to return to, but something that I embody in everything that I do. And I think the best part is that with the organizing projects I do, they're always surrounding art. It'll always be about uplifting artists, meeting different people. There's just endless amounts of talent in this world and talent in Hamilton that I'm just slowly getting to know and getting to be graced by the talents that you see here on stage and you see in the pre-shows. Yeah, it's a really beautiful thing. So.
Thank you. And DJ.
I think, yes, this whole project is us trying to learn how to express ourselves in the most authentic way, but more importantly, I kind of want to reflect that back to you guys and take this as an inspiration to, as I said, just be more comfortable with being misunderstood, accepting yourself as a strange brew of identity, as a mix of different things, and to really take the opportunity to create something that you're genuinely proud of. And you'll find most of the times it's when you break the rules that you find something you're proud of. So.
Thank you. And those are kind words to wrap up the panel. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to our 3 panelists. One more round of applause for them. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me. And a reminder, everyone is invited to the Real Fruit after party, so please go if you want some ice cream. And that's the end of the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. As Ope said, just a round of applause for Ope. Lovely, lovely. She's just incredible. I don't know how you do it.
I miss you, President.
Always
Try.
and everywhere.
I miss you, President.
We really want her to run for president. If you
She's
see
doing this
her,
humble thing right now.
just tell her to, because we've already signed ourselves up to be her, whatever. I'll manage the shit out of her campaign.
I know you will. I know she
Trust
will.
it, I will. I'll make all the designs for you, Ope. You can tell me whatever,
Thank
and
you.
we would be running that. But you are lovely. Everyone, thank you again for coming out. This was such a long project.
Yeah.
There were the days where, when ticket sales looked pretty bleak, it was like, are we actually gonna put this whole show together, put all this time in just for, and no one comes, right? That's the word. We get sponsors, we do calls, we pitch, we email. I've sent how many emails that just don't even get read, don't even get a response to, but the idea is you still do it. We still did it. We filled the stage here. People came out to support. Some you guys don't see when the errors are made, but I think that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I'm balancing my mind right now as the panelist, but also figuring out how Teardown is gonna go. Real Fruity, okay, it's 9:33 right now. Real Fruity doors are good to open for us starting at 10 p.m.